step forward.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the In and Out podcast. We back. We're just gonna keep running it. We're gonna keep running it. Today, a very special episode. I'm your co-host, Diesel.
I'm leaving.
To the left of me, I have Lelouch V. To the right of me, I have Professor E, King of the Comics, Ethan Murphy. How y'all doing, brothers?
Good, man. Great until whatever the fuck that was. Like,
this.
It's been a long year. It's been a long year.
StreamYard, delete that feature, please.
Too late. Yeah, guys, if you're watching this, we're a little bit past the date now, but we recently had our 1 year anniversary of the podcast from when we first started. Well, at least when we first started on YouTube. So today we're kind of reminiscing a little bit. I have clips of my favorite moments that we've had in the past over the past year. The progression and quality.
Homework.
I didn't want to be a match of clip show of us cutting to us. So I did
better than me.
Hey, Family Guy does it.
Yes, if they can be meta, we can be meta.
Sure.
You're gonna see a lot of progression from like quality progression from like the start of the show till now. Like camera quality, ass cheeks. Mic quality was buns. Oh my god, that was so bad, but it was some dope shit. Also gonna get into what's up, Craig? We got the boy we got here, man. He's never heard of us. And we got the BLP. Fuck them guys.
Yeah, what's a Craig? I never heard of Craig either.
Jesus Christ. But guys, just to get into it, I'll go down some of my moments first because I have clips for my moments.
Sure.
And we'll probably repost these as like YouTube shorts or clips and shit like that going forward because we've had some good moments. But first is coming from like the very first appearance that Lelouch V has ever had on Then and Now, like his first time being against before we made him a member. We kind of bonded here, but it's called Gay.
Nas in 92 versus Nas in 2021 is not the same person. I'm saying like
Kanye. My bad.
Old Ye and new Ye not the same person.
So that's not the funniest moment, but that was just like if that encapsulates us in general, like how we fucking do shit and how we communicate.
The best part was the quality, the absolute pinnacle of quality of just like it looked like three dudes like who didn't know each other just sat down in front of each other, just said talk. It's like what about what? That was fun. How
much about that do you remember, Otis?
I remember all of that. It wasn't like from where I'm sitting right now, it's a couple feet over where that was recording. I was recording off my phone at the time. It was just a different time. I still got that shirt. I wear that shirt all the time.
Jesus Christ.
It's a good shirt, man. It's a good shirt.
Man.
What's funny about that too is just a small thing. So for those who don't know, the show is called Then and Now because it was originally meant to be the I guess celebrating or depressing me with the age gap difference between me and Charlie. How he's at the time, you were literally half my age. You were 20 and I was 40 when we first started this show. It's like we have to do a show about the difference between old and young, more or less. So it was so Charlie was always on the left, and then I was always on the right. Which makes no sense because it was called Then and Now. I should have been on the right. He should have been on the left, or I should be on the left. He should be on the right, but we got it backwards then. Anyways, and then we brought Otis on, and for some reason we put Otis in the middle for a while. And I don't know. It's just funny thing about like how bizarre our minds were just.
Shit worked itself out, I guess.
It worked itself out. So
Craig said he's picking up one of the comics today. Appreciate you, my boy.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Speaking of like, I guess the throwbacks to the old Then and Now shit. This is probably one of my quintessential moments that I remember for this show. One of my favorite clips. Leave Nintendo.
Hold on one second. I'm sorry.
No way.
Yes, hello. Thank you very much.
Buddy had a whole phone call. It went on for like 15 minutes. I didn't realize my face was like stuck in the position it was in that moment. I was like, damn, what the fuck is wrong with my face?
That was I can't remember for the life of me who the hell it was or why. I was like, I have to do this right now. I can't hold it. But it must have been. Hopefully, it was somewhat important and not just a DoorDash call because I was hungry for a burger. But I know myself, so it probably was.
Nick was good, buddy.
The
Good,
captain. Continuing on with another quick moment. This is another one. I think the first review we may have done, or like one of the first reviews we did as a trio. I'm pretty sure from I think Eternals, or I forgot what review it was from exactly, but me and Otis got the bond over some hate for Cyclops and Cap.
Hey, fuck Cap and fucking game. Let's keep one viewer watching this to the end.
Fuck Cap is really a hot take. That's just a given. Everybody knows that.
It's usually more fuck Cyclops and Cap.
Both of them. They can both go.
That's like comic books more than the film. Anyways.
Anyway, getting like I'm not mad at Infinity War just because
the tear. I love it.
this was hilarious. Craig wants to know what that background is you got there, Otis.
Wakanda.
I figured that's what it was.
Is it Wakanda temporary? Is it Wakanda for a long time? How long is it for? Is it Wakanda?
I mean, Wakanda forever for right now. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see how long it goes. We'll see how long it goes.
Clean.
I might end up switching it to another Wakanda background. I might just like do an array.
No, that's cool, man. Also, that shirt. Would you mind telling the fans what that shirt is?
Oh, that's the Wu-Tang Clan.
And how long is Wu-Tang? Is Wu-Tang for tomorrow? Is Wu-Tang for
you were?
I'm not paying into this. I'm not paying into this anymore.
Jesus Christ. We got two more. My last two. Another one of my favorite moments. Thick statues is what this is called.
Howl and jack off to a statue. It's like, why? No, come on now.
I don't even. Are you allowed to jack off as a Jedi? I feel like that's against the code.
No, you're not. So no, that's
Damn. It's a Vita statue. Oh my god. That's how
I'm not no king shame. If you're into statues, do your thing.
The statues be kind of thick, man. What can I say?
They be kind of thick.
I mean, but
They be kind of thick. They be kind of thick, man.
Wait, what was the context? What was the?
I mean, that's still a valid question. Can you masturbate as a Jedi? Is that part of the code? Like, is that something that you can do?
I feel like you have to. That's something like you at least for humans, so you don't go fucking crazy.
I don't think they can. So I think that's one of the reasons Dooku lost it. It's like I can't handle this shit no more, man. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it on all y'all. And also if you look at Palpatine, that's someone who clearly enjoys himself. So the difference between a Jedi and someone who clearly takes care of business, you've seen Palpatine smile and laugh at these fucking folks. It is someone who is not backed up.
Last moment that I remember from me personally is probably one of my favorite ones, not the favorite. This is, I think the first trailer reaction me and Ethan did. And if you remember that day, nothing was going right. Like we had to retake that intro like 15 times. Like computers were shutting down, phone calls were being had, and we just broke down in the intro of it.
What is so funny? Did I fuck up again?
I'm good. It's just that took us so long. So many tries.
You would think for a trailer reaction we'd be able to knock these out fast without so many mess ups.
I love it.
Rolling. I was lying.
I still watch that part all the time because it was just. I think it was a matter of like we got. It happened. It was literally 10 minutes of repeat over and over trying to start that we got delirious. It was like, I don't even know if this is going to work. And I just lost my mind just watching you try. So it was fantastic. I love that.
Oh, God. So that's my moments. I know you guys said you guys had your own
laugh
moments.
is infectious, E. Like, hearing you
like
laugh is
hard.
I try. Thanks. Y'all got great laughs too, man. Y'all got great laughs. I think that's the best part of this show is that pretty much every episode we do laugh, unless I'm
trying to. If we didn't laugh, we didn't do it right.
Yeah.
So I went through my 5 moments. So I guess we'll start with Otis. What are your top 5 moments of the show? Or however many you have on hand?
So for sure, number 5 has got to be the Arcane review as a whole.
Right.
Just getting to watch that show and then talk about how great it was, and then talk shit about how bad some other female led content was. That was fun. And plus, I mean, it's our most popular video on the one of our most popular videos on the channel. So it helped us to start to grow. So I'm hoping we can. I hope in season 2 is lives up to the first.
The funniest thing about that one is how we even ended up watching that shit. Because initially, we like I don't remember if it was you or Ethan who suggested it to the rest of the group.
Otis was first.
Otis was first. Okay, yeah. And then we like all watched it like one after another. I think I was the last one to finally get on board with it. I was like, I'll give it a chance, and then fucking binge that whole show within a span of like 5 days.
Yeah, and we were
So for us, we were watching it at Anime NYC last year with Darnell and Kim. We were watching that, and then the fucking Cowboy Bebop live.
Oh no!
The disparity between those two shows is just on a completely. Oh my god! Oh my god!
It's like having a filet mignon dinner, like an incredible entree, and then for dessert you have like a
Taco Bell.
Just Taco Bell itself, like a
Taco Bell, okay? It is porridge. What's crazy is that around that same time too. I think that was like the Arcane video was probably like our big stride as far as views go. And now I think that was my first video essay I did on Cowboy Bebop. Came out then because I had just binged the whole show.
Animated series. The animated series.
Yeah, I did a review on animated.
Yeah, the live action.
Wow. Okay. Somebody was put my phone on do not disturb, and somebody still blow my phone out.
Continue. But
you hear me? Answered up, I guess. Yeah, we hear you.
Okay.
We hear you, but you in full OA on us, Mr. Stewart. Christ. Mr. Stewart, can you? There we go. I got you. Yeah. Another thing too is obviously Otis was talking about it, and he was, I guess, viewing it like he said at a convention himself. I was at the LA Comic-Con when the video dropped. And so when the video first dropped, because Charlie, for those who don't know, wasn't necessarily didn't think this video would do that much or really care about it, ironically enough. And it dropped while I was at Comic-Con. He was like, while I was still there at Comic-Con, he kept mentioning, "Oh yeah, we hit 100 views. Maybe we hit 200 views. We hit 300. If we hit 1,000 views, I remember Charlie saying, if we hit 1,000 views, I'm gonna cry." I was like, okay. And I was like, there's no reality what's going to happen. So who cares? It's not a big deal. But by the time I got home that night, it was like over 1,000. And Charlie kept updating me over and over and over again. But it was it's funny how the thing we didn't think would matter at all, the thing that Charlie was the most reluctant to do is, of course, the thing that got the most hype. So
because up until that point, I think our highest huge stuff we were getting maybe like 30, 20 here and there. And then we like, I think the Sasha video was probably the first one.
She came afterwards.
That was
afterwards. Yeah. She came a while after that, actually. Yeah, because it was like primarily the videos we did were just interviews. The ones we recorded were interviews, and that kind of changed the game as far as us trying to edit things more. Because I think you edited a few things here or there, nothing really that major. But then we tag teamed editing that too, and that's what got you into editing more. You actually started like editing more because of that video as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you started editing some more stuff.
Yeah. Well, it was like around that time that I met James. Around the time we got the Granola interview, because that's how we got that to begin with. And then I started talking with him, and he would show me some different stuff. Shout out to James Simon over at Small Screen.
His
Those
mentor.
guys do amazing content. Go sub to them. They do dope shit. But yeah, that's a crazy time. But my bad. Oh, we stopped you from going up your list. Way continue. My bad.
You're good. My number 4 is a moment that I wasn't actually there for, but it was the interview with Ben. I don't want to destroy his last name, but Ben
Formaker Alivias. I got it down now.
You're practicing. Look at this dude. Look at this dude.
Yeah, but I wish I could have been there for that. Just getting to hear about how much he enjoyed working on the God of War game, and then him being brave enough to tell his story while working on the Harry Potter game. I just really enjoyed it. It was a very well done interview from you guys.
Yeah, that was sick. I really enjoyed talking to him too. And because I had never seen that I never thought about that kind of perspective before. of like working and you having to work on something that's adamantly against your moral and ethic beliefs and you as a person was it's crazy. But shout out to him for doing that and helping to make an amazing game that I'm loving right now. Me and God of War, game of the year. So yeah.
Yes, yeah, he's a extremely talented dude. And Ben, so I met Ben at that convention that we were talking about earlier, when he dropped the arcane video, and Ben was just an extremely nice guy, extremely friendly guy, and he came up there was celebrating and praising the books. I think he had read one of my other things beforehand. He came to buy a whole bunch of other things too. And then while I was there, I was like, "So who are you? What do you do? What are you interested?" He goes, "Well, I make a," and he dropped it very, very casually that he was a game developer. And I was like, "Holy shit, that's great!" And I asked him what games he developed, and he mentioned very, very casually, almost under his breath, he's working on God of War and Harry Potter's like, "What?" And now everything like stopped. I was like, "We have to get your," I have to, because the show was around then. So I have to get your info so we can contact you to have on as a show, an interview, or whatever. Please come back, please. So it was just bizarre how cool he was and how casual he was with everything.
Yeah, we're gonna get Ben back on soon. That's another. We'll get to we'll get to like our favorite guest soon. I want to get to that at some point. But go ahead, continue up your list. You're at number 3, right?
Yeah, my number 3. Number 3 probably has to be the bet that we had for would Matrix be good or bad? Because like you really thought you was gonna bet against me and win on that? Like, come on now, E. Like, you saw the trailer. You saw that trailer.
I with both my eyeballs.
You had hope.
Fair. You know. Fair. I deserve everything I got. I 100% did. I 100%. Not even like 10%. 100%. I did. Deserved it forever, like Wu-Tang forever. The thing about it is that I have a crush on Jessica Henwick. So when I saw her in there smiling with the big bright haircut, and I was like, "Yo, this might be cool." And I saw Yaya getting blasted back by a Hadouken, and I was like, "This might be kind of cool to watch. This should at least be fun. It can't be as bad as the previous two. It can't be." And and of course, there's a line in the Matrix where Morpheus, the first Matrix, where Morpheus says, "Fate, it seems, is not without a sense of irony." And it's like, yeah, I got hit with that irony all up down the mouth. So yeah, it was. I apologize for doubting you, Otis. It will never happen again.
Part of the optimist to him died that day just a little bit.
Part of it.
How is that not optimistic? It's just being real about something that looks bad. Like,
no, he was being optimistic about the movie being good.
I was. Yeah, my optimism died. I will never believe in anything again. Not Santa Claus.
I mean, how comfortable would you be about like a big dude just sneaking into your house once a year, like, and there's nothing you can do about it? Like,
when you put it like that, when you put it like that, it does sound very Law and Order gong, extremely long. Oh, yeah, God, is that how it's described? Is that how Santa Claus?
Milk? Like, what's going on?
Hey, yo.
Is that how he was described to y'all as a kid? This is a big dude, and it's a crazy, nasty ass beard coming down our chimney, kind of come for y'all. Sneak in tonight.
My grandpa would like dress up like Santa and like come in there like in Christmas Eve and just give us cookies and shit. So I was like, "Hey, this nigga, I fuck with him. Yeah, all right." He came in, I got cookies at 12 o'clock at night, and I was supposed to be in bed. I'm like, I had to stay up late and get cookies. I fuck with you, Santa.
Facts, man.
Santa.
Facts.
All I'm saying is, like, I hate to feed into Charlie Chicago jokes, but
that's the greatest. That's the greatest.
It is not going to be a silent night. I just put it
no.
Chicago standing that hoe with white dreadlocks like a.
Also, you don't have to wait until once a year. It happens every other night in Chicago. There's a dude breaking into your house, coming down.
Oh God, I love
big
it.
Dude.
He finally gave me one. I love it. He made it.
That's your present for this year for holidays.
I couldn't ask for nothing else.
I mean, ask for anything else. No, exactly. That's a real quick. I have to see. Do y'all remember how you found out Santa wasn't real? Like, did your family sit you down and tell you? Did you figure it out, or what happened?
I just found my grandpa's costume.
So your grandpa would actually put on a costume and go all out. He wouldn't half-ass this.
What he fucked up was he was a Mason, so he had Mason white gloves that they wear in their uniform, and he wore those as part of the costume. But it has a fat ass symbol on the hand of it, and I saw that in his house one day. I was like, "Wait a fucking minute, hold on, ain't no fucking way!" And I was like, "Well, okay then." I figured it out. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, if your word to the wise, if your costume ever has your initials all up over it and you're trying to be incognito, don't do that. Give yourself some credit.
It's like finding out Bruce Wayne was Batman for the first time.
Yeah. Wait, what?
In the first episode?
No, I'm saying if I was anybody else in that like in the show.
You see, you're.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? Blew your fucking mind. Blew your mind, boy.
I can't believe it.
Anyway,
Otis, do you remember how you in Chicago, how you found out there was no Saint Nick?
When my mom took me to Toys R Us and had me pick out my gifts that I could tell Christmas.
So, yeah, it's like I'm Santa Claus. I'm paying for this. With tax.
With tax.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
show my age because Toys R Us was still open.
Toys R Us still existed. Jeffrey was still around. Not our friend Jeffrey, but the giant giraffe Jeffrey was still around.
Toys R Us was still around like up until I was like 10, I think. It was up around for like a good part of my
Probably, but yeah, because I think it was done about 10, 12 years ago. Yeah. I found out because of Toys R Us also, but I found out because when I was 5 years old and could just barely read, my dad had one job, which was to take the stickers off of the toys, the actual price tags off of the toys, and he left it on one of my presents, and I saw it, and I was like, "Is that Toys R Us?" And my mom looked at him and said, "You idiot!" And as soon as she said that, I was like, "Oh, something shouldn't have happened that happened." And I deduced it was so from 5 from kindergarten up, I was like, "Well, there's no. This is all sham. This is all a sham. All these kids are dumb. All of them are."
FTK, man.
FTK, man.
You're number 2, right, Otis?
Number 2. Was it 5 moments or was it 4?
Whatever you want it to be.
Whatever you got, bro.
It's simple.
Yeah, it was the 4th one. Well, the first, and it's gotta be that Game of Thrones review actually. Just recently for House of the Dragon.
Okay.
Getting to break down a well done show is always fun to me, and that's probably the best live action show that's come out in a long time.
Yes. So yeah, I'm trying to think. What would you say topped it? I mean, I know obviously The Boys season 3 was great.
Boys season 3 was great.
But that's probably. What would y'all give it to?
What kind were you about though? Would I put that up there?
Where is his mute button? Who would you all give it to then? Between
I can't think of something better than that recently.
I meant to say The Boys though. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Is it better?
I may have to because they obviously we were highly anticipated.
I gotta finish Andor. I have not finished Andor, so I'll take your word for it, Jim.
What's up, Jay? That's my boy Jay right there. Yes, Andor is great. Andor is a great show. Yes,
gotta check it out. But yeah, it was both shows. Everybody was waiting for the episodes every week. They were highly anticipated. But I feel like the big peak moments hit a little harder in that. Plus, I feel like scenes in The Boys were more tense because of Homelander. Like, Buddy, his tense scene, at least for me personally, I was like, fucking, oh shit, he about to do this and that and the third. They both had memorable moments, but there was just more tension in The Boys for me personally.
Hide and seek in the clouds wasn't a lot of tension.
It was not as much because I knew it was going to happen. Like I knew Buddy was going to die. With Homelander, you don't know if he's going to kill somebody or not because he's liable to do it at any moment and like that, and you just don't know. Versus, I know the death of the boy is coming at that point.
I feel like in some way, like it did some in a fun. I guess probably the 3 best shows in a way. This live action shows this year have been Andor, season 3 of The Boys and House of Dragons. That's hands down. But all 3 of them do tension very differently. Like The Boys, the tension ebb and flows a lot. In House of Dragons, the tension kind of finds a way to peak in the season and kind of keep going back and forth. With Andor, it kind of like it's a constant. It's almost a constant feeling of tension all the way, and it keeps getting more and more tense to the point where you just feel just uneased all the time. It's almost like a noir where you just like you feel unsettled as you're watching it on some level. So it's that's kind of the theme, I guess, this year is if you can do tension well, you got yourself a good show.
That's all I watch things for. Build the tension.
Yeah.
If it's not tense, it's got to be really funny, or I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of.
Right. Well, I guess that's part of that. A key to humor is cutting the tension at the right time too. So that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, Ethan, you're give me your top 4 or 5.
Sure. So one of them actually was what you showed. As far as I was going to cut that, but I said there's no reason to do it. But I was going to do the Batman because that was for our Batman reaction, where we couldn't, where we just lost our minds. Like maybe 15 minutes of us trying to do that. It was just a mess.
Well, we're not just talking real quick. 30 minutes later.
Yeah, because that was the whole point. Was like you and I were like, "Hey, let's just real knock it out extremely fast." And I'd already watched the trailer because I couldn't wait, and it took us over an hour to do that. It was painful, but I love it. I love that to pieces. Another thing that was fun that I don't think Otis mentioned it just yet. I thought was on his list too. Was of course the the Cabinet of Curiosities by Mr. Del Toro.
Oh, I forgot that. Yeah, I did have that, and I had the loose cannons with us and Rizzy and yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's another one that's really cool. The reason I mentioned the Cabinet of Curiosities is, and there's no offense, obviously, to our boy Mr. Del Toro. He's a great guy. I've tangentially talked to him. He's extremely friendly. The thing about it is that he, I don't know how involved he was with that show. Doing the review, just watching Otis. Watching the life be drained out of him as he had to talk about something he despised, watching him try to keep his temper in check as he described the quote unquote lotion monster. It was fantastic. I enjoyed every minute of that quite thoroughly. It was beautiful.
So funny.
It is so beautiful. Another moment that I definitely enjoy, as Otis mentioned it, or both you and Otis Dev mentioned it, was Sasha, having Sasha Wood on our show.
Mm-hmm.
I followed Sasha for years when she first did a top 10 nerd for Countdown of comic books and comic book heroes and everything. And then also watching her own show on her own channel now with Casually Comics. I've been a fan of her for a long time. And being able to actually have her on, and she was kind enough to review Slade and Ash for me, and then she was kind enough to come on after that, kind enough to come on to our show, and she gave us a long time. She gave us like an hour and a half,
an hour interview. Yeah,
it was a long time, and she was extremely. You met her. She was extremely friendly. Could have been a nicer person. They always say you should meet your heroes. Sometimes you should. I mean, she's definitely my hero still to this day, and I could have been more grateful for that. And that's an opportunity that wouldn't have happened without this show. So I'm very grateful for y'all for making that happen. My number 2 moment. I'm not sure. The countdown, my math is all kinds of terrible. But my number 2 moment is just, it's technically from Loose Cannons, but it's something that all of us were involved with. So I'm going to play it real quickly. It's something that I also play all the time. I still play this maybe twice a week. I play this especially when I get depressed or sad, just to make myself feel better. So there's a little behind the scenes stuff there, but I'm going to play right quick.
Yeah, put the blooper reels at the end.
I'll put a blooper at the end.
Oopsie.
Time.
Oh, to my
I'm sorry.
It's so hard to not agree with you.
Yeah. Hey, man.
Time.
I got to finish this movie.
You can't. You have to keep a straight face. If you break, we're gonna break too.
Positive things to say. I'm done. I quit.
The funny shit was the fucking airplanes on this game laughing.
Yeah, I tried to remove that.
Oh shit.
Charlie was watching that show, and Charlie was making some questions, observations, which made us laugh even more. So he was involved with that too.
Yeah, for that moment, I remember that day because I was still working at a domestic violence shelter, and I was working graveyard shift. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, damn, it's a break. I need to find a way to come watch this. I was like sat in the bathroom for like every 30 minutes of the show and sitting there and watch the shit. And it was so because I think y'all were reviewing. It was like the Dark Knight Rises versus something else. I can't remember what the movie was.
Yeah, it was which had the worst like the worst ending. I think it was like Dark Knight Rises and was the Matrix trilogy or something.
Something like that. Like,
Yeah, something like that.
It was painful to try to defend that, but it was the process of getting on, trying to keep a straight face, talking to Zell about that, and like being serious was incredible. That was that was one of my favorite moments from Loose Cannons. We gotta get Zell on here again, man. I gotta hit him up.
Yeah, shout out Zell. That's my J. Cole boy. That's my boy. Heavy.
J. Cole. Yeah, J. Cole.
I got a chance to actually meet him in person when we went to BlerdCon last year. Well, earlier this year.
Right on. Yeah, because he's from Philly, right? He's in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right on. I love it. And so my number one moment, bizarrely enough, is a very, very recent moment. It happened last week, I think, when we were playing Mass Effect. And it felt like, oh, yeah, this is the show. I was trying to play the game. I had no idea to play because I'm too old. Dev was trying to be this. Basically, the dynamic of us is same as like anything. It's like if you break down Naruto, but they have Sakura and Sasuke and Naruto, or even with Jujutsu Kaisen with Yuji, and it's always the same. The dynamic of three. It's the super ego, and id. And in the biggest sense, I would say that Charlie is very much the super ego. He's always trying to keep the ship together no matter what. I would say that Otis is very much the ego. He's kind of in the middle, just doing his thing. And I'm more or less the id. It's a wild character. Has no idea what's going on. I'm too old and decrepit to make sense of things. And trying to play that game with the three of us in there, it was evident as hell that was it. It was just a mess of a mess. And we had to like stop. Or Charlie left for a while to go take care of a call. Otis had his mic on, his cat and his girlfriend were doing stuff in the background. I got lost going out of the ship. I couldn't get out of the ship. I had no idea to get the ship. It was just a disaster, and it was fantastic. And I was just grateful as hell that I have y'all, that we're doing this. This has been, we started doing this show, if you remember, Charlie and Otis, more or less I met y'all during the pandemic. We started getting into this and come up with ideas for these things during the pandemic. And I honestly don't know. And my buddy Jeremy, if he's still in here, can attest to this. I hit a real low point in my life during the during the pandemic. And this show and y'all really saved me. So I'm just, anytime I get the chance just to like, just embrace us being each other with each other, it just makes me happy. It brings a smile to my face. So I was reminded of that playing that game, and I was reminded of it watching playbacks and everything else. So so thank y'all. I'm just thrilled to be doing this with y'all. I'm glad we're still here a year later. Lots of podcasts and shows don't go that long. We have so
we're getting ready to meet in person in a few weeks. So
yeah,
I may cry, nigga. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like he said, I was in a big depression. Obviously, with everybody had the loneliness factor going on there. Being locked up inside for, I don't remember, it felt like 3 years. And I had some friend groups, but like most, like Jeffrey, y'all know that he's my best friend. He was going through his own stuff and out on like another part of the country because he was on the military stuff at that point in time. And everybody was kind of spread out. And so I felt like very isolated. And I knew Otis, like, we're cool. We talked already. We played a lot of 2K together, whatever else. But I didn't feel like until we started doing this show is when I felt like I went from feeling like I had friends to having brothers at that point. Like I very much still feel like older siblings to me and how we go about things. And again, I'm blessed in the process of doing this. I've been able to speak to some people that I never thought I would talk to. I'm a big Batman fan. We got to speak to Graham Nolan, the guy that created one of the bigger characters in that franchise. That's something I never thought I'd ever be able to do. And I'm blessed to say I did it. Don't you watch dude since literally probably like middle school, been watching his YouTube videos, and I got to meet the guy. And like you said, I met a hero, and he was better than I ever could think he'd be. Like he did like 3 videos with us at that point, and then shouted us out.
Maybe 4.
Yeah. Even if we got nothing from that, just the fact that he was willing to do that, and we were able to communicate, and it was a positive thing. it really meant a lot to me, probably more than he knows.
Yeah.
So this has been one of the worst years of my life, but also one of the best. And this show has made that one of the best.
Absolutely. And with that, I have to highlight real quick before I forget is the fans. We just got some more comments. It's just people that, especially like Craig, new people like Jeremy, one of my best friends out here, just having people that have followed the show. We're not a huge show. We're not have a huge channel, of course, but the people we have are very loyal there, and it's a great community. It really is.
Shout out to our boy Craig too, because I don't know if the show would have kept going if Craig didn't come along and was like just hella supporting us, watching hella videos. Because I was starting to hit a wall with editing and trying to figure stuff out. We had to like have a meeting collaboratively to kind of rebrand stuff. And Buddy like called me multiple times when I think I was in a party with Otis, and he was just giving us reassurance, telling us that he was liked stuff and giving us feedback on stuff. Yes. And him being our first and probably will forever be our best fan. I appreciate, not even just a fan anymore, just a brother at that point. I appreciate
it. That's our brother. Absolutely. Yeah. If we're the turtles, if the four of us are the turtles, all right, let's do this for real. Let's do this for real. Okay. I would say
I'm Leo.
Yeah, you're Leo. You're even wearing blue today. I would say you're Leo. I would say that Otis is probably Raph. I know he doesn't feel that way, but
no, for sure I'm Raph. I'm for sure Raph. Like you guys said I was Leo. I was like, no, I'm Raph.
I did. You said that. I never said that.
I'm old.
I have never called myself Leo ever. I'm Raph. Glad.
And I have Alzheimer's. And I would say that I'm probably Mikey, and I would say then that Craig actually, if y'all talk to Craig, that dude is philosophical as hell. I would say Craig is actually Donatello there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Honestly, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because we butt heads a fucking lot. So I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Fair.
Yeah, that's the birthday twin there. Me and him also have the exact same birthday. We were born on the same day in the same year. Different parts.
He's out here, so y'all will meet him hopefully.
That's the plan.
We're gonna make it. Either we gonna find him or he gonna find us, one or the other.
We all going to the same convention. Also, Jeremy, if you go into LA, I'll grab Jeremy. I'll grab Jeremy too. So all of us will be at the LA Comic-Con in a few weeks too. So yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. One other thing too I want to mention is, of course, the things that we had designed, the artwork. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of the banner right quick here, fam. So we have I think Otis. I'm not sure who did your logo for the Lelouch, but we had some of the. Okay, give a shout out to them, but obviously the person who did the artwork for Dev and I is Green Lantern and Robin cosplay. Thank you very much for doing that. Skaza, who's your comic artist?
Skaza, same dude.
Who did your upcoming your comic was already out. Son of Shaitan, which is fantastic. And I had to give, of course, a shout out to our boy, Eater Messias, who did that big, huge group pinup of us in our X-Men cosplay, essentially, for about literally half the price. Spoiler alert, that dude is working on Spider-Man for Marvel now. Actually, that's how top tier he is. He usually charges about 3 times as much to do the stuff he does, and he did it for us because he just likes us and he wanted to help out the show. So it's
we gotta get him on the show at some point.
Yes, we do.
Yeah,
it's fire. Now we kind of went through our top moments. I really want to get into. We kind of got into it a little bit with our favorite guest. First and foremost is the guy. Go ahead.
It was like we skipped over what the show was meant for me too. I mean,
my bad. Go ahead.
My bad. Yeah, at the time we were also dealing with the transition from going from Nerds with Melanin to Vertical Entertainment. So I was working through a lot. And then, of course, at the same time, my grandmother had passed away at the beginning of this year, so I was dealing with that, and just also being just isolated from them, like everything that I had known, because being out here in Buffalo, the show is probably the one thing that probably kept me sane because it gave me something constant that I could come to, and I know I'm going to be talking with my brothers here, so it was my therapy session every week. So I'm thoroughly appreciative of the show. Appreciative of Craig as well. You definitely destroyed me in that debate. We'll have another one though.
Granted, I will say you started it off at a disadvantage anyway. That was a weird one. We didn't give all the details for that one, I think.
He won. Yeah. Bottom line, he won. I'm not gonna try to
he beat Rabbit for sure. I ain't gonna lie to you.
He beat Rabbit. Because the thing was, I messed up too. It it wasn't so, as much as I was underestimating Craig. I know he's a cerebral dude, but I was so much thinking, oh yeah, there's no reality in which Thorfinn has less of a story, or I can't remember the specific debate, but I thought Thorfinn was a deadlock over Jet, and then when he brought his math. I was like, Jesus Christ, maybe I was wrong.
He liked that. He liked that for real.
Yeah.
He's him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
We'll do the next debate on tapping, no capping. I'll pop up in there. We'll do
they are doing debates now. I think they've done like the last 2 episodes have been debates. Again, shout out to guys. Craig's doing a show with Bay, tapping, no capping. They go through a lot of just different posts and threads throughout the nerd groups, and just kind of either say they rocking with them or they don't rock with them. It's some funny shit.
And shout out to Ricarious Art Journey for making my character here. You can't see my virtual character. But thank you for drawing that. She made a bunch of chibis for us back when we were nerds with melanin. So shout out to her for that.
Right on.
Moving to the guest. For me, on my top 3 guests, I'm gonna have to, outside of, we already got into Craig a lot. I want to give this guy his flowers, my boy Chuck Pino. I can't tell his fucking day.
It's close to the wine, so Pino.
It's Pino. Oh, I thought it was Pino. I don't know what I was saying. Pino.
Bro, I cannot. I've known buddy for a minute now. I cannot. A fellow comic creator, but dude is just funny. Like I met Chuck in a random call with James. I think I came on to the small screen live show they had going on, and they had a bunch of random dudes in there, which funny enough, all those dudes I met in that call have been big help in this channel and getting stuff going on. But I met Chuck and I was like, yeah, he's doing this thing, maybe he could be a potential guest on, because at that point we hadn't really had a big guest yet outside of Graham, and I was trying to find that next guest, and we got Chuck on, and the chemistry was just like automatic. He was just funny as shit, and it shows a lot because we've had him on, I think, 2 to 3 episodes of the show at this point. And not too many people get on the show more than one time. But the chemistry was just so great with Chuck. He was just so funny. My favorite in conversation being the one we had when Sidney Poitier had passed away. And we were just talking about the X-Men and like black people in media, and hearing a white guy's well, I don't know if he's white or Spanish.
No, he's white. No, he's in Canada. He's
Canadian. Having a white guy's perspective from that, and having like an ally that was discussing how he saw things, and him living in the South as well. It was dope. I fuck with Chuck. We still got to get his loose cannons with him and James going.
That was supposed to happen. So here's how much we like Chuck. Chuck is an avid hater of Batman, all things Batman, and we still fuck with him. That's how much. That's how cool that dude is.
I mean, Batman has some things he got to get questioned for. So I mean, that's fair.
It's fair. I never met a person that was that hardcore of a comic book creator and writer themselves that just openly hated Batman. Like that dude is not like Batman at all.
Check out this book Belial that's out. I'll probably put a link to either his page where he promotes it or to the book itself somewhere in the comments. But he's great. I love Chuck.
Yeah, it's on Antarctic Press. So I'm gonna go there, talk it up.
But yeah, give me one of the favorite guests you guys we've had on the show or that we interviewed or whatever else.
My favorite guest that we had on that I was actually here for. Might be Nightwing, honestly, man. Just
my boy.
Just because he was able to be on for the whole show, we don't get to have that often, and like he fit right in with us. And I mean, as somebody I want to actually meet to see how he does some of his stunts. I mean, I've always wanted to see how stuntmen do their thing. So
you'll probably meet him when you come out, because I talk to him all the time, and he probably be at LA Comic-Con. I can't imagine him not going this year. So you probably meet him. Yeah, you probably meet him. Real quick, shout out to Cito, our boy. He reached out to me afterwards, of course, when I say, hey man, if y'all need anything done for the show, pro bono, let me know. So I mean, he's a real good dude. He loved being on the show. He wants to come back.
He's gonna help us out with the Dragon Ball documentary. Once we get that done, he's gonna spice some stuff up for us.
Yeah, he's a professional, man.
Okay.
So yeah, he's legit. He's the greatest. He's the greatest. Also, he did hit me up at like 7 this morning, before Otis. No, I think around the same time Otis did, as far as like, yo, man, Tommy, the Green Ranger, passed. He was he was inspired by the Power Rangers so much to become a stuntman. So when his hero passed, it hit him pretty hard. So
yeah. All right, we're gonna get into some Tommy stuff later in the show. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that was his favorite guest. Ethan, your favorite?
Well, yeah, like I said before, it was obviously Sasha, but outside
yeah,
of Sasha, I mean, it's Sasha. How could it not be? How could it not be? But outside of Sasha, I definitely, of course, loved our boy Alan Maxon. Having Alan on, having someone that is a huge. I mean, he's one of the biggest mocap actors out here in Hollywood. He worked on he was involved with multiple Godzilla movies, and just actually getting some behind the scenes from people on doing the show in the industry on how they do these things. But I'm not sure if it's too meta to talk about this one, but we have to give some love to our girl Danielle.
Oh yeah, Danny. Yeah,
Danny. So Danny, obviously, she joined up with us, did a few interviews, and did a few of her dungeons essentially.
Yeah.
But she went out and she had to pursue her career as a recording artist, and she had to move across the country and everything else. But she still supports us all the time. She still, of course, comments on everything we do. So big shout out to Danny.
Yeah, we're gonna get her back on at some point.
Yeah, she'll come back.
She did amazing. I think she did her interview with Tom Devlin. That was a really dope one. That was a really dope one. He was a little standoffish, but it was great to have like a veteran of the horror genre that I love so much. Get to have conversations with him about stuff.
He's an extreme introvert. And it's funny too, getting some insight into horror, the world of the real horror made by the horror professionals. As far as like I think Otis mentioned before, how and I mentioned it too, Dev, how bizarrely down to earth people that work in horror actually are. They're not. You think, these are all psychopaths? No, they're actually some of the most grounded, down to earth people, because especially they tend to work on the much smaller budgets, knowing they're in the genre film, so they don't have the egos and pompous airs that people sometimes do with other genres in Hollywood. So
not even just horror. I think he said he worked on like Terminator 2, I think.
Yeah, he has. He's worked on a lot of things, but he cut his teeth for a long time. His mentor and everything was I think it was Stan Winston was his mentor, but he did cut his teeth primarily in horror, but he has done other genres too.
Okay. All right, man. We're gonna move on. We had to shaboing boing ourselves for a minute on the show and give each other our love, give each other some props, and shout out some really big people that have been influential in the show up until this point. And I love everybody that's showed support, and we hope for your continued support. And I say that a lot, but I really do mean that.
100%.
Moving into a little sadder news. Obviously, we lost Tommy today, or his name's Jason. I can't remember his entire name. He's Tommy in my head.
David Frank, right?
Jason David Frank, yeah. He's a big member or integral part of nerddom for a lot of adults and kids alike. I'll get into where I fell in love with him later on, but I know a lot of you guys probably fell in love with him as the Green Ranger originally, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So in my childhood, Power Rangers was huge for me. I had the toys, the bedspread, the stickers on my window. And when I really got into it is when Tommy came onto the show. Like my favorite episode of the early show is like he came on and just beat up the whole Power Ranger squad, threw them out of their own Megazord. Like I was like, oh, like you can have that type of energy in this show. Okay, cool. Like he was my favorite. And then seeing him transition to being the White Ranger, officially becoming the leader, like that Power Rangers movie was also pretty good. Like I could actually rewatch it now. It's more watchable than the part 2 that they tried to do in the X-Men universe. I don't know. It's like there's so many.
The original one with the putties, not the putties. The one.
The
original one.
Yeah, with Ivan Ooze.
Yeah. Ivan Ooze. Yeah, Ivan Ooze. That's his name.
Not Apocalypse. Ivan Ooze.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Like I mean, just seeing him, seeing that show, seeing him lead that team it really inspired me to want to make stories like that with like my friends, like with our action figures. We would make our own storylines, and have fun playing together. And I feel like that's also kind of influenced me now. Like I didn't necessarily know I wanted to be on the path of content to what we're doing now, but now that I am, I can't deny the influence that came from that, because that was the start of me even like my mom was so, because Power Rangers came out the year that I was born in 1992. I was cognizant of it, I don't know, maybe like when I was 2 or 3. But like everything about my life was Power Rangers at that point. It's Power Rangers and Sonic. Those are the only 2 things that mattered to me. and my earliest memory is of Tommy. So
Damn.
Damn, yeah,
crazy.
shit. I didn't expect that much. That's crazy.
It is wild. I'm obviously a hell of a lot older than y'all. Like I said before, when God started spinning the earth, I tripped. But I wasn't as into Power Rangers, but I was obviously aware of it. I couldn't miss it. And I remember when Tommy or the Green Ranger first showed up, how it was kind of like, yo, there's actually a real, credible, legitimate threat on the show now. This isn't just like it didn't feel as much like a Saturday morning cartoon. He actually added some legitimacy to it. He actually added credibility to them as an actual threat. I thought it was really cool. And in the real life person, Jason David Frank, he's been a really, really big figure and prominent figure in lots of conventions. He's been really he's always embraced the fans, talking to the fans. Him and Amy Jo Johnson, who's Kimberly, they've gone to conventions together several times. I've seen them from a distance. I never talked to them or whatnot, but I've seen them from a distance. They're always very they are very open with the fans with everything that goes on too. And he has a gym out here somewhere, I think in California. Jason David Frank's gym. I think it's called something to do with
Look at a dojo.
It's like a dojo, but it has something to do with like a Christianity vibe, and he was a Christian too. So he's still a very active guy, you know. So it's obviously lost, and that community just really embraced him, which is a shame he had to pass.
Mm. For me, obviously I'm a little bit younger, so I got him a little bit later. There's like, to me, it's the golden age of Power Rangers, where there's a couple shows from Ninja Storm to SPD, but one of the favorites that he was a big part of was Dino Thunder. I still have that theme song burned into my skull that I can sing to this day. And
please do.
Not right
don't,
now.
Please don't.
But one of probably the biggest moment of that show was when Tommy returned to being a ranger, because up into the show he's just kind of giving his knowledge and things like that, but he had this whole arc in which like he had to get over, I forgot what the trauma was that kept him from wanting to do it, but eventually he did it, became the Black Ranger, like I think Brontosaurus Ranger is what he was.
Was it the Macedon?
It wasn't the Mastodon. It was like it was the dinosaur with the long neck. I think it's the Brontosaurus, if I remember right.
Yeah, so Brontosaurus is one that has long neck.
Yeah, so he's a Brontosaurus Ranger. And there was an arc he had in which he had to go back and, without any of his morphin powers, fight the previous versions of his Ranger done. So like he went back and fought the Green Ranger and he was like, he got beat. He was getting his ass kicked at first, but after a while he was beating their ass. No Ranger powers, just straight up hands. At that point, to me, I'm like, oh, Tommy's that dude. He like that for real. He's not only beating himself, but beating himself without powers. So I'm like, that's it. That's fine. Like the Green Ranger's fired at me, but for me, him outside of the suit is still strong as shit, because I just saw him smoke the original, like his old version of himself.
Yeah, he's a very, very accomplished martial artist, and that's a dope storyline that he had to fight him for himself. That's kind of like old school, real classic storytelling. I like that.
It was like Green Ranger and like two other Rangers, I think he was, or some shit like that. And he had to like fight them all back to back.
Right on. You know the white one, obviously, the one he had the dopest helmet in all of the Power Rangers lore, basically.
Green Ranger, White Ranger, Red Ranger. I think it was like Neo Ranger or something. It was he went through some phases.
you the original
there was so much disappointment in his voice, bro.
I feel like you don't like all those phases. I feel like there's
no, I didn't love all those phases. But hey,
between him and Doggy Kruger, those are like the masters of, I guess the senseis of Rangers. Like him and Doggy Kruger for me. Those are like my top two favorites.
So like with Kruger, like how did they fit his head inside of that help? Like
it's huge.
Like you clearly saw him shrink to have to fit in there.
Mm-hmm.
So like, why did he shrink? Like,
look, they had a whole ranger that was a sprite light ball. They had that happening. Yeah,
like Tinkerbell, basically.
It was one of the White Rangers where he was literally just like a tink. It was like a literal just shimmer of light, and he would just shoot around and talk to everybody.
Was the helmet like Dr. Fate's helmet, where you put it on? Like, basically, the helmet in of itself is almost an entity. Is that what happened? Started happening in the show. Okay.
No, so essentially, I guess he was a ranger in the past. He was a commander now, so he put it up for retirement. He's like, yeah, I don't do that anymore. And then they gave him a morpher, and then he had like his sword was sick. I love the design of his sword to this day. Like the sword on, it was like a dog head with like the sword coming out. Whenever he would draw, the mouth would open up. It was fire.
I love just add context. Just hearing this, it makes me happy. It makes me happy. Real quick, we got to comment on our boy Chris here, aka the Devil. Nice handle. So is that what he was? Is that his background? Was Tommy?
He's trolling.
Okay.
He's making jokes.
Because the other side, he also mentioned Park Ranger. I was like, it's a Park Ranger, but
you got to follow Chris.
I heard your sombrero alligators been doing some work over there on Pokemon.
That sounds like a racial slur.
It does.
No, it's not.
I'm not sure which race.
It's really a Pokemon that's an alligator with a sombrero. Like that's really exists.
Bro, I'm so out of touch with Pokemon now.
That is okay.
Sombrero alligator.
Yes. It's an alligator with a sombrero. I wish I was making it up. Is
he at least strong? Okay then.
Like the name of the first form is Fuecoco.
Fuecoco?
Yeah.
That's a racial slur for sure.
That's
a racial slur.
There's got to be something inappropriate about that. It sounds
crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. That's nasty.
That is bananas. But I one thing I wanted to, of course, because we're talking about video games now. We of course,
as fire goes, there it goes. Talk about Mexican influence.
But y'all, so obviously the Pokemon game, talking about that right now. Not to smash it too hard from Tommy or Jason David Frank. I'm sorry, Jason David Frank. But Otis, would you say the top front runners for game of the year are probably the new Pokemon game that dropped, Elden Rings, and God of War 5.
Pokemon doesn't want to get into that race.
Okay.
The game of the year picks have already been posted. Pokemon will be on the ballot for next year, more than likely.
So it doesn't. Why doesn't it qualify for 2022?
Yeah, they already had the nominees.
Oh, they already had them. Okay,
yeah. I see. Let me just go ahead and stop you right there. Let me correct you for a second, because there is no other candidate outside of God of War that is the game of the year. I don't want to hear nothing else about nothing else. The biggest competition they have is probably Elden Ring. Played that.
The only competition that they have is Elden Ring. Only.
Most likely. Yeah, I can't
Stray.
imagine.
Stray was dope. Same.
Stray was nominated for Game of the Year?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn. People play that game like that? Were people playing it like that?
Yeah. How they covered the game this year? It did pretty well.
And it was only it was a reduced price. It was a smaller price.
It was like a 4-hour game.
Is it like a plot to that, or is it just a cat simulator?
It was actually absolutely a plot. The story is actually pretty well done.
Yes, we're both.
So it deserves to be in the nominees. Like absolutely.
I need a Stray game for dogs, and I'm in for it.
I just wish you could have made your own cat. Like that would have made that game epic. Like if you could have picked your own cat.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that would have changed the whole game? Like, not changed, but I mean, like you would have. That would have elevated it to Game of the Year.
No,
could that have been Game of the Year for cat?
No. It doesn't. It can not somehow get over God of War. It
can be God of Cat, and it still wouldn't do shit. I'm sorry.
God of Cat. That's the next game. God of Cat. That
sounds oddly sexual. I don't know if that can.
Yeah, that's why I chose it as the Game of the Year, Otis. I know what I'm doing. I'm old, but I'm stupid. So I know, Otis, real quick. I think you're as far as God of War goes, you beat Elden Ring. Or did you beat Elden Ring?
I did not beat Elden Ring. I got I forgot how far I got through it. You guys got so far ahead, man. I ended up stopping playing it.
Stan and I were trying to help you with it. I know, Charlie, you got really, really, really far because you you hit that wall. But you got like 100 hours into it almost. And I beat it twice. But y'all both played both games, and so both of y'all are saying God of War is your front runner. Otis, that also includes Destiny 2's one of their expansions. You're still putting God of War above that.
Yes.
Okay.
Like, duh. Like.
Okay. I have. If I don't ask, who will?
You may get the charge if you don't stop this foolishness, Ethan. We charge you with something at some point.
No, I agree. Here's the thing. I completely agree. I have full disclosure to everyone out there, including Cito, who has been it almost twice now.
Wow.
Yeah, his wife's like, "What are you doing?"
He did not take his time with that one at all. I'm saying shit.
I haven't beaten it quite just yet, so don't worry about spoilers. Anyone watching, there's no spoilers here, but I've gotten about 25 hours into it. I've done all the side stuff, so I'm taking my time with it. I'm taking my sweet time.
Mhm.
But it is very much, it's very much what you wanted, even though you didn't know you. Oh my God, Tiki! Hey, how you doing, cuz? For those who don't know, I'm significantly older than Tiki. I am significantly older.
Was that a wink or a mini stroke? Like,
Stroke.
Can it be both? Can it be both? I'm old.
I hope it's not both. Please don't.
We don't
I mean,
know
we
that
all smell purple toast right now, don't we? If
Purple toast.
as I was saying for God of War, it's a game that pretty much gave us everything we wanted, even though we didn't know we wanted it. There were others that tried to do this. No offense to Last of Us 2, but it kind of found a way to try to do something like this in a sense, but fumble the ball. In my opinion, this game flourished in that arena. So bravo to that team. I agree. It definitely is. In my opinion, I haven't played all the games out there, but in my opinion, too, it is game of the year. So I'm with y'all.
It's game of the year for all the kids, with all the people with absent fathers. Because, damn. I was like, he cares about his son? He wants to be around his. Oh, that's crazy. I ain't never seen no shit like that.
We'll have to do a PLI on like why father figures are such a big prevalent thing in all entertainment. Everything from Thanos to Last of Us to God of War. Yeah.
I ain't never had no shit like that. I'm trying to see what that feeling like.
That's definitely not a thing in anime. We know that.
Oh God, yeah. They don't like fathers. They don't like parents in anime at all.
Anyone over 16 doesn't like anime. Yeah.
And if your father is around, he's usually like Yujiro Hanma.
Right.
Yeah,
Like it's like no parents and child soldiers are just a thing in anime for whatever reason.
Yeah. That thing too. Moms are always dead.
Every battle anime technically child soldiers, like every single one, like all
They
of
are
them.
child soldiers. Yeah,
Pretty much. They try to make him look older, but I'm like, bro, he's 12. That's crazy.
Yeah, they're never out of high school. Never out of high school. Yeah,
I was like
how people imagine Chicago is what anime actually is. Like,
he gave you two. He gave you two, Dev. You better enjoy that right now, man. That's an extra. That's a bonus.
Like Tokyo Ghoul is what Chicago actually is.
Stop it.
That upsets me. That upsets me still. Tokyo Ghoul. Tokyo Ghoul in season 2 of Neverland. Those 2 seasons, second seasons, were both like, what are you doing? Anyway, anywho. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, guys, we're coming to the end here. Again, this has been a great episode. I just wanted to take time to give flowers to ourselves, pat ourselves on the back, because nobody else does it. We're going to be able to do it. We've been putting in work. The show's been growing. We're in a year's time. We're at like almost 350 subs. We have damn near all of our watch times. And people have been watching our stuff and enjoying our stuff. And we just want to talk our shit, man. We've been putting in work. And I just want to thank any and everybody that's even clicked on one of our videos because you thought you were interested. That's done a lot for us, and we can't thank you guys enough for that. With the amount of, if you guys seen all the conversations we've had about trying to improve the show and make the show better and what we can do better, you probably go to sleep because it's tiring. We've had endless hour conversation on like little shit. We'll have like an hour-long conversation on like one little thing we want to change about the show. But I wouldn't do it with anybody else. And I appreciate you guys for coming on the journey with me and giving me your time and sticking with me through this. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Of course.
Absolutely, bro. Thanks. Thank you much. And thanks for initiating it. It was all this was incepted by Dev. He reached out to us. So thank you, buddy.
Right.
And thank you for watching, fans. Like Dev said, we couldn't be here without y'all. We love y'all. We hope y'all stick around with us as we continue to make content, you know.
Yeah. Dope shit coming, man. It only gets better from here.
Right on. Did you want to mention that are the church announcements coming up? Or did you
Okay. Church announcements, guys. Obviously, we finally, after 15 years, have the Echelon shop back up, and all the books are available to purchase now.
We celebrating our 1-year anniversary, and he talking about 15 years. Yeah, go ahead.
It felt like 15. The shop's up. If you guys want to purchase any of the books we have at echelonGnovels.com, feel free to head over there. We have amazing comics there. Black owned, great content. So if you guys want to support Black creators, please do so. We put a lot of we put a lot of our heart and soul into the books me and Otis have helped to create individually, and then Ethan has put more than I can count into all the books that he's worked on and the ones that he's created for Echelon. So we only are going up from here, which is the dope shit we're gonna do.
The family's growing. The family's growing. Did you put your spot in here?
Which one?
The big one, the big spot.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Big spot.
The commercial for the.
Oh yeah, it's in there. It's been in there.
Okay, go ahead and
Yeah,
play it.
we're running a commercial real quick.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Are you in the mood for a good story? Well, how about a great one? Then welcome to the world of Echelon. We've got everything from buddy cops fighting hordes of zombies to steampunk mad scientists changing history, and even a domesticated angel having a really bad day. And dropping on Halloween, we'll have 2 brand new exclusive series to the site. You don't want to miss these. Speaking of deals you can't miss, we have a special for the holidays on all of our merch. From Halloween through November, enter the promo code SANTA and save 20% on your purchase. So stop by echelongnnovels.com, the new gold standard in storytelling.
Hey, I still like that spot. Still like so much fun. But there was a typo in there.
Facebook ad soon.
Yes, I need. I can upload it properly into all their Facebook places. It's only been on my page for a while, but there's a small typo in there. The actual deal, the 20% off, will go through December. It's a full Christmas sale. So it's a full Christmas sale too.
All the way through December. So go check that stuff out. Pretty soon too. Working on getting that DBZ documentary I've been working on for months. Collectively, I think we have all the interviews we need for it now. Okay, so now at this point we just gotta finish writing the script. Cough. And I gotta finish editing and putting stuff together myself.
I had to work on Andor. Andor is a lot of stuff to do. But yeah.
No, you're good, man. I'm just fucking with you. But yeah, we're gonna get that out to you guys soon and have a lot of more dope stuff coming. I already got a video essay script in the tank that I'm waiting to get some time to free up on. I'm gonna knock out on one of my favorite DC movie or animated movies. Oh yeah, I saw Otis eyebrow shut up for a second. Animated movie. But still, yeah.
I didn't say nothing.
His eyebrow raised like a whole inch off his head.
We saw the steam, the anime aura coming off here. But Otis, we're gonna drop what we're talking about on our upcoming POI. It starts with a clay, ends with a shay.
Clay shay?
Cliche.
Oh, cliches. Yeah.
Oh, I was like, the hell? But yeah, if you guys enjoy the POIs, the point of interest videos that we've been doing, we really enjoy those. We're going to be pumping out more of those. Just kind of getting into the essence of what the show is when it comes to discussing narrative and just the technicality of film and whatever else that we think pops into our head. Yeah, cliches are coming up next. But yeah, that's everything I have. You guys any closing remarks?
Make sure you tune into Bait Chan on Tuesdays. Make sure you tune into Vetting Out Gaming on Fridays at 9:30. Make sure you tap into No Capping right after that. Also pay attention to the Wakanda Alliance program, the Galactic Tribe. There's a lot of good things going over there, and there's a lot of new content coming our way going into the new year. So look for big things in 2023 from us.
All right.
And this obviously we won't see y'all before Thanksgiving. I know there's all kinds of controversy around the holiday. All I will say is, if you're going to have meat, eat meat. Don't eat plant-based burgers. I cannot stress that enough. That is the worst thing you can do to yourself. Go ahead.
Anyone smallpox blankets? I don't know how we.
Okay, guys.
On that positive note.
All right, guys.
I feel like a thing that you know to not do to people, but
I mean,
here we go.
I haven't tried it.
Got the whole holiday around it.
Just guys, vital lesson. Don't forget.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
And
this is now my favorite episode. Favorite episode of the show now. I'm not even gonna say anything bad about Warner Brothers this episode. Not gonna do it.
You kind of did.